Hello and welcome to another Renegade Economist Talkshow. It is a huge honour to have Daan Roosegaarde with us. Dan yesterday talked about the business of hard and soft capital. Right?
Yes.
Tell us what you talked about, to recap, if you would.
I talked about how our world is changing from analog to digital, how our world is sort of shifting from this interactive, this shareability world. And in a way that we should negotiate between the hard and the soft capital. So the things that generate money and pay our rent. And on the other hand, the things that push our innovative thinking. And one needs to balance these worlds together, to merge them.
It's really the essence of leadership or creative leadership, to keep the one profit centre, if you like, going, but also have the knowledge to get the other innovative processes moving. Can you just talk about that and how you straddle both those worlds?
Well, I think when we look at the world today, a lot of it is based on a copy-paste mentality. So you purchase something, you put a margin on it and sell it again. I don't believe that this is working anymore. So I believe in the copy-morphing. So you take something, you add a value to it, and then you move on and you try to learn from that and do it again and again and again and again. So the installations that we make, like June, for example, this landscape of light, every time we learn from how people interact with it, we update the software and the sensors and the way it interacts with people. And that pushes sort of the innovation within the studio and the people who work with us.
In layman's terms, explain those installations. We can see them now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, June, we've made a series of them in the last 3 to 4 years. So we're creative company based in Rotterdam and in Shanghai. June is actually a landscape made out of hundreds of lights which react to the sounds and the motion of people walking by. Intimacy, dresses which change in transparency when you become more intimate with them. Sustainable dance floor, a floor which generates electricity when you dance on it. So we're sort of copy-morphing that idea to roads, to smart highways we're developing now. And right now tonight, crystal, little LED rocks which light up when you touch them, and you can literally...
Like on cue, I've got props here. Talk us through it.
This is Lego from Mars. You can literally steal it and take it home. So you can either share or steal. Basically,
just talk us about the share and steal idea.
Well, the notion was that as we live in this over Facebook-sized, over digitalized little world, a lot of the tech is still screen-based, and I don't think that's right. I believe in the tactile side of technology, that it will jump outside that computer screen. So that crystal is about that. It's about sharing stories of light. You can play with it, you can write letters with it, you can give it to your girlfriend and then come to the place here at iMuseum and it lights up. So it's much, much more about sociology, about attracting new type of relationship. And of course, tech is a great mediator or a great tool for that. Yeah.
Fantastic. So we've covered the leadership, the creative leadership aspect. What do you think where do you think we're headed? And I know that's such a broad question, but everything you've mentioned, you've said that a lot of things are screen based, and you're pushing more towards the tactile. You're, as a business, looking at let's say industry orphans like roads. I mean, that tunnel famously became a wedding venue, did it not?
Yeah.
Just talk me through that.
With the June piece, when we exhibit in the Maas Tunnel in Rotterdam, it became a hotspot for wedding couples. So suddenly this old grey tunnel, we hacked it into something which was more interesting. And I think we're in the dialogue with companies right now who want to be innovative. They have no idea about how. And we team up with their engineers and their designers and their craftsmanship and try to drag it into the future. And I mean, there's a social agenda that we want to make the world. We're the hippies with the new business plan. So there's an ideology that we want to make things better, more connected. And not George Orwell, but Leonardo da Vinci, to become more human in a way. And there's also a business motivation that we want to have projects or clients who pay for that process and not for a product. And so far that works.
It's very interesting, and you touch on a really key point, that people are results focused as opposed to process focused. Just talk a little around this, because often when you pay for process, you get results that far outweigh the expectations.
Oh yeah, man. Because that keeps me up on a Saturday night, because I'm imagining, okay, what can we do with it? What are the consequences of the idea, and how can we push it into reality as hard and as long as possible? And I think they get much more than just one thing out of it. Yeah.
How difficult is it at the top to persuade a results-based organisation to pay process, because that isn't possibly not in their DNA?
No, it's not. Fortunately, we have our track record with the project we realized, in which we merge the innovative high tech with more poetic experience-based installations. So companies are going to realize that they have to think about social media and technology in a different way than just the screen. And companies also need to realize that, yeah, you can sponsor someone, but you have to push it much further. You have to really create a dialogue and open up and exchange and share if you want to keep your ideas fresh. Yeah.
During a frothy boom, companies often pay lip service to that process that you, but actually during the bust and during the contraction, they've got to walk their talk. Are they starting to?
Yeah, it's quite interesting because there's a lot of lip service and greenwashing for sure. Sometimes people want me to be decorative, and I want to be interactive, which is actually exactly the opposite. Yeah. I do think that there are some companies out there who are struggling, so they have to innovate or they die. It's very simple. And it's completely fascinating that suddenly the role of the artist or the designer comes in, because we are very good. We have our tentacles, our fingers into the future, and we want to drag that into the now. So when we teamed up with Absolute Vodka or Toyota or BMW or the Heijmans people, that's what we talked about: how to merge the future and the now into one. And this is a creative struggle. Yeah.
Do you see a difference, a differentiation between art and business?
No, I'm half priest, half entrepreneur. So I have an ideology, a vision. I believe in saying no many times creates a big yes. But at the same time, I live within the now. I don't want to be buried by some museum and be discovered in 80 years. And, oh, that's pretty interesting. I want to operate within the now. I want to update reality. So then you have to... Yeah, you want to work together with the things that surround you, and companies and entrepreneurs are a huge part of that. So I sort of like it. Yeah.
Excited? Well, clearly excited. Optimistic?
Yeah, I think you have to be, and I think reality or the future is not something static. It's something we build up together, and the way we exchange our information and our experience and our emotions. So in a way, the pieces that we made are sort of proposals for the future to show, hey, it could also be like this. And especially in a time where current systems are crunching, we need to reset. And I'm not saying it easy, but for sure something has to happen. So why not? Eh? What's stopping us?
Ourselves, maybe, and that's the thing we've got to remove.
Yeah, there's a lot of yes, but, ja, maar, and then you get this old sentiment. But I think it's interesting, and for me there's no difference between operating in a Tate Modern or a Louis Vuitton store. It depends on the will of the client in order to embrace the dialogue we're going to have and see what the consequences is.
The exciting thing is those clients are starting to come forward.
They're out there definitely more and more. We are packed with projects. Again, if I would be purely interested in making money, I would just have copy-pasted the pieces we made. So it's also of inspiring and opening up, like giving lectures here at Picnic, talking to young people and showing that art is not something static or a painting, but it's actually alive and out there and can be on the edge of what people think is possible.
You inspired people in there. I'm sure you've inspired people here. This has been really wonderful. Just the last note, we can take or share. I choose to share it, so I'm going to leave it here.
Okay, super.
But that isn't. I'm not. I've got to be detached because I'm really quite attached to that little thing.
I have more. Yeah, I have more.
All right. So public. So no, I can't. You've got to take it publicly. I'll keep it, but give me one out the back, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, I will do that. Yeah. And there's a business model. The camera's off now, but there's a small GPS in it, so everybody who steals it gets an invoice 1 year later, but we don't tell that yet.
It wasn't rolling. No, don't worry. It's cool. It's cool.
Just put it on the web. Nobody watches.
No one will watch it. No one will see this. Yeah. That's it from Picnic. Right. We're Dan, and thanks very much for joining us. Renegade Economist here. Thanks again for your time. Cheers. Bye.